All right, guys, we're going to talk about some movement vocabulary. And first of all, credit where credit is due. This movement vocabulary, much of it I learned from Marie-Josée Bloom and her team at Long Beach Dance Conditioning when they worked in collaboration with Wunderbar Pilates to develop our educator training program. This is some good stuff, folks. And if you're looking for excellent Pilates work, Wunderbar Pilates is located in several cities across the U.S., many in Southern California, New York City, New Jersey, Tennessee. If you're not in one of those places, they also have a great curriculum on demand. So for Pilates, I always recommend my dear friends over at Wunderbar Pilates. All right, so we're going to talk about gear wheels. I want you to imagine that on the sides of your head, and you're going to see me moving side to side, the sides of your head, the rib cage and the hips, right? You've got a set of gear wheels. Imagine if you use any Apple products. You know the little gear that it's like all your settings? Think of that gear wheel and plant one here on your ear, one on each ear, and I want you to just play with this. This is your ear wheel, right? This is gonna help us. I promise this will make sense in a minute. This is your ear wheel, right? So sometimes I'm gonna say ear wheel forward and you'll give me one of these. Right? Got it? Same thing here on your ribs, rib cage. Imagine one of those gear wheels here, one of those gear wheels here, and it rolls forward and back, right? Forward and back. I'm gonna just put my arms over my head and do it. Ha! This, we use this a lot in our core work. This, I want you to think of this as a rib, it's a rib wheel forward. If anybody ever says crunch, I think it's a dirty word. We don't say crunch. We say abdominal curl. So when we do an abdominal curl, which I'll show you in another video, we're gonna rib wheel forward. That's how we achieve that. Similarly, in the hips, you've got a hip wheel. Now you're gonna notice I don't have much of a sway in my low back. I'm pretty flat, like literally I don't have the lumbar curve. But you will see that I'm rolling my gear wheels, again, gear wheel on either side, and I'm rolling my gear wheels forward and back. Yeah, forward and back. So if I ask you for an ear wheel, forward, back. If I ask you for a rib wheel, forward, back. And if I ask you for a hip wheel, forward, back. Got it? Those are your gear wheels. All right, a couple other terms. I like to think of your obliques, which sometimes I'll refer specifically to the psoas. I refer to the psoas as your bungee cord suspenders. I want you to imagine you're wearing suspenders made of bungee cords, and sometimes I'm going to say lift through your right bungee cord, lift through your left bungee cord, yes? We're going to feel this a lot, these guys, these obliques, and specifically the psoas, when we do planks and things of that nature, hollow holds, you're going to feel like your bungee cord suspenders are holding you up like a hammock. Okay, so bungee cord suspenders. Oftentimes I'll refer to the collarbones and say stretch your collarbones broad. So I want you to think about taking your collarbones and stretching them to the sides of the room so that they're really lengthening out. We like to talk about knitting the rib cage together or knitting the bottom ribs together. A lot of times we end up here, flared open, yeah? This is all flared open. Instead, I want you to lace it up. Imagine you could sew it up together. That is knitting your bottom ribs together. Another great one is your transverse abdominis. This is your very low abs. I want you to think about, I might say, tighten your seatbelt. So think about when you're sitting in the airplane and you've got your seatbelt low and tight across your lap, and you're tightening it. So if I were to just say to you, tighten your seatbelt, then suddenly we've got low belly, we've got low core, activated like a mother, yeah? I want to talk about shoulder blades. Let's see if I can get this. A lot of times we get stuck in the shoulders, and I might say to you, drip your shoulder blades down your back, put them in your back pockets. Drip them down, put them in your back pockets. I might say, drip them down and around the sides of your rib cage. Down and around, yes? Those are some good movement cues. I might say to you, drip those shoulder blades down in your back pockets. You're gonna notice not just my shoulder blades move, but my entire back lights up. The lats light up. The multifidus lights up. Sometimes I will talk about spiraling your inner thigh. So the way your femur bone, that's this big long bone here, the way your femur bone moves when you lift your leg in a turned out position, you're gonna notice it kind of slurps in to the hip socket. I'm mimicking with my arm what my leg bone is doing. It slurps up and in. So sometimes I'm gonna say spiral your inner thigh forward or spiral your inner thigh open. That's what I mean. So for example, in a horse stance, right? Our knees are not caved in. No, we're spiraling those open. See what I mean? Spiral closed, spiral open. So there's going to be a whole lot of interesting cues, but those are just a few of the top ones. I can't wait to work out with you. All right? So come back to this little video if you're looking for like, what the hell was that thing she said again? This is the one.